I wanted to talk about conflict. I'm basically giving myself 4 minutes to do this. I'm actually going to set a timer because if you let me go on about talking about conflict, which is probably one of my favorite things, I'll just keep going on. I'll go on forever. So I figured I would go live and just talk just a little bit about conflict. So what it is probably one thing, but really in particular, three things that you should know about conflict that I don't know if they're well known. I don't think that they're well known. People tend to be surprised whenever I share these statistics, but I don't know. They're my norm because I do this work all the time. So it's not surprising. So in case you don't know, my name is Tara Vossen-Kemper. I'm the owner and the founder of the Counseling Hub. And I'm also one of the clinicians here that specializes in working with couples and relationships. It's one of my very favorite things to do. Excuse me. I especially love working with people, who are healing from affairs and people who are on the brink of divorce. So that's really fun work. It's hard work. I mean, it's really hard in terms of for clients. I think it's hard work, but it's one of my favorite things. I'm already almost at 2 minutes. See, this is what happens. I'm a minute and a half in. Okay, so 3 things you should know about conflict. So the very first thing that I would say is really important is that these kind of go hand in hand. Conflict is inevitable in a relationship, and anger isn't predictive of divorce. So it's not like the angrier you are with your partner or the more you fight, the higher likelihood of divorce. Which sounds probably crazy, but sometimes I'll hear people say, we don't fight, like we never fight, we just don't fight. And I think, okay, well, either you're not talking at all, and so there's a lot of disconnection, or you fight, it's just really, really subtle. So some people will go, they go toe to toe where they're like screaming, ideally not, but it happens. So they're yelling or it's intense. You can tell that there's a fight going on. You've seen this couple probably at a restaurant where they sit and they just, that's sort of like the face, the expression that goes on. And the other, well, okay, I won't get into that. So, but people do fight. So even one example of a soft fight, for example, or a subtle conflict is, one partner says something like, hey, I really want to go to my mom's this weekend. And the other partner's like, oh, there's a ball game on that I was going to watch. One partner's like, oh, that would be nice. My mom is really, it's important that I go to my mom's. I'd love if you went with me. And the partner's like, yeah, your mom is important. A ball game is really important too. And the other part, it's like this back and forth, like nobody's saying directly, come with me, or I'm going to be angry, or nobody's fighting intensely about spending. I mean, substitute ball game in mom's house for like spending money or something. It's the same thing. So you're seeing, it's almost like, in essence, dancing around a subject without directly maybe saying whatever it is that you want or need to say. So that's one thing. So the other thing is that, so anger and conflict are fine in a relationship. Fine. They're not pleasant necessarily, but they're fine. Like they exist in relationships. They don't predict divorce. They don't predict dissolution even. So dissolution meaning like the erosion of a relationship. So that's number one. Number two is that, and you may already know this, again, bear with me, the vast majority of issues in a relationship, 69%, are not resolvable. So that means that only 31% of the issues you have with your partner are able to be resolved, which is crazy, like crazy, mind-blowing crazy. I think the first time I read that or saw that statistic, I was like, what? So that's just another, oh, see, it's 4 minutes. I'm only like a quarter or 2/3 of the way through. There we go. So that's another thing. 80 or 69% of issues are not resolvable. That also has nothing to do with the success of a relationship. So even if that is the case, people who have been together for 40, 50, 60 years, they have that same approximate 69%, but that doesn't mean that has nothing to do with their happiness level. So happy, healthy couples have this same percentage. So again, 69% of issues are not resolvable in a relationship, only 31% are. So that third and final really fascinating factoid, the number one predictor of divorce is not affairs. It's not money. It's not family. It is contempt. So contempt meaning disdain for your partner, contempt meaning sort of a superiority to other people. So having disregard for your partner, not, I mean, it can look like a lot of things, but like teenagers, that's a really physical sign of contempt. Yeah, and that's actually the number one predictor of divorce, which is something we try to stop in couples therapy. So, okay, that's all for me. I'm sure I'll be popping in and out on here at some point. And also, you'll meet that's gross language. You'll meet the other, I don't like taking ownership of people. That's really weird. You'll meet the other clinicians for the practice. I almost said force. I'm going to have them come on. They will have the opportunity to meet you all in this capacity. So that's all. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.